Here we are again. Another Sunday night, afternoon or morning, depending on where you are. Or it could even be Monday morning if you're in Australia. But wherever you are, you're very, very welcome. Hopefully lots of Elvis fun on the way. It's very cold here tonight. A cold and frosty Ireland. I hope wherever you are, it's warm. So here we are, ready to go. Welcome to Elvis, the Ultimate Fan Channel. So what have we got on the boards tonight? We've got This Day in Elvis History, of course, a live poll. You're going to like this one. It's quite an unusual one, but it's something that I've been curious to find out over the last while. And I thought, I'll do that as a poll this week. A song I wish Elvis had recorded, Photoshop of the Week, Caption This Photo, smoking hot photo, of course. Doesn't take much to start them off, does it? It really doesn't. The topic, of course, which, as you can see, did King Creole decide the path Elvis's movie career took? It's a little bit of an odd one because a lot of people think that it was sort of the fact that Flaming Star and Wild in the Country didn't do as well at the box office as some of the other movies. So Tom Parker said, right, we are going to go for the beach movies. Well, maybe that's not the whole truth of the matter. And I will reveal to you later on what I think may have influenced the path that Elvis's movie career took. So, yes, it is. I thought there was a funny noise on the audio, but it's not. It's okay. It's just my ears playing up. Of course, please, if you do want to ring me about anything Elvis or about the topic, once we've finished it, you can call me on Discord. I see there's a couple of people already in the queue. Or I'll just move that over there for a second, if I can. Can I move that? Maybe not. I think I can. Oh, it doesn't want to move. So I'll just take it away. You can also call me on WhatsApp and Instagram and Messenger as well. It's strange that it doesn't want to move. There it does. It does want to move. Okay. So there you are. WhatsApp. 353 if you're outside Ireland, 87-959-8819. Or if you follow me on Instagram, you can ring me on Instagram, or if you follow me on Messenger, or rather, if you follow Steve Francis on Messenger, you can ring me on Messenger. Okay, so that's that. Let me see if I can just replace that there. Push it up a little bit. Okay, so, and of course we have, as always, we have the quiz. And sorry, Dylan, the quiz. Oh, I forgot to tell you as well. Yeah, the new feature that I started. I wish Elvis had sung this song live. That will be coming up as well. And I think we have a double entry this week. Both underrated song and I wish Elvis had sung this song live is entered by the same person. Okay, so thank you very, very much. And I will actually reveal who that person is later for those two items. So we're going to do the quiz, the monthly quiz, of which there is a prize. And birthday boy Dylan won last month's Fan of the Month quiz. And he got a Change of Habit Blu-ray. And I hope you're enjoying that, Dylan. I really do. So February the 25th, Elvis 1968 TV special is the specialist subject or the quiz questions this week. Hopefully Chris is going to help me moderate these questions. because sometimes the chat goes so quick that I actually miss who is the first correct answer. So, here we go. Ask us what he wore. We know that one. Yeah, exactly. Okay, yes, here she is. Thanks, Chris, for moderating. Thanks very, very much. Sorry to hear that cold is still hanging on. Right, here we go. I better get my trusty pen ready. And, oh, yes. I think I changed the quiz, the correct answer jingle yesterday. I believe I did. So that's a new. Who's going to be the recipient of the first this jingle? The first person to get it. Right. Stand by your beds. Here we go. First question of 6 about the 1968 TV special, and it is: what song replaced Blue Christmas when the 1968 TV special was rebroadcast? There you go. What do you think of that for a question? Here's my mug. Okay. Hugh is saying Memories. No, wasn't Memories. Oh, Dylan's saying Tiger Man ? Lucky Jackson is saying Trying to Get to You. If I Can Dream. No, Memories. Okay. So Chris is saying No Set, quick off the mark. And the answer is Tiger Man. Yeah, so I'm just going to double check, but I'm sure Chris is right. Yes, No Set, just after Hugh McKenna's Memories. So it looks like No Set is the recipient of the first recipient of this jingle, and here it is.
I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. So if I got it, you got
it. I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. Yes, No Set. Well done, No Set. Okay, so I hope you like that jingle. Not the best sound quality. I did work on it a little bit, but it's about the best I could do. Here we go.
I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. So if I got it, you got it.
Right, here we go. Number 2, question number 2, 1968 TV special. What number studio in NBC were the sit-down and stand-up shows taped in? There you are. Priscilla says, what is creep crud? I'll allow somebody else to answer that question. Okay. So, I can give you, it's multiple choice actually, 2, 4 or 5. I forgot about that, sorry. Multiple choice, 2, 4 or 5. People are saying Studio 2. Edwidge is saying 3. Scott is saying 39. Margaret says 5. Duncan says 4. Anne Y says 4. Right, who was the first person to say 4? And I'll tell you the reason why is because it was Studio 4, NBC. Yeah, I thought it was Duncan. Duncan, you're going to get the creeping crud.
I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. So if I got it, you got it.
Dylan's World says not a clue. Yeah, if you check the tickets, it actually says for the sit down shows and the stand up shows, Studio 4. This crud does creep. I like it. Right. Next one. This isn't multiple choice, but the next one is multiple choice. But this one is just a one-word answer, and it is, what day of the week was the special first broadcast? There. If you can tell me that. What day of the week was the special first broadcast? And somebody is really quick off the mark. Miles High says Friday. Invisible Generation says Wednesday. A lot of people saying Sunday. There's a Thursday in there. Oh, USA. Sorry, David. I meant to say USA. Vincenzo says December the 3rd, 1968. Yes, but what day of the week was it? And believe it or not, it was a Tuesday, and Hugh McKenna is the first to get it right. So
I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. So if I got it, you got it.
Okay. Tuesday, December the 3rd, 1968. What a night that was. Yeah. This one is a multiple choice question. Okay? And it was, what date, so that's the month and the day, were the two stand-up shows taped? June 27th, June 28th, or June 29th? Was it June 27th, June 28th, or June 29th? The two stand-up shows. And Juan is saying June 28th. Philip is saying 28th. Hugh McKenna says 27th. Okay, a lot of 27th. Okay. Right, so the stand-up shows were actually taped in Studio 4, yeah, on June the 29th. There you are. June the 29th. One at 6 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. So who was the first? Hi, Juan. So who was the first to say June 29th? I think it went very fast. Okay, well, I can go back and check if you want. Chris isn't too sure who said the 29th first. Right, here we go. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to see 28th, 27th, 28th. Right, looks like it was Dylan. I see Dylan just after Carolina Loves Elvis saying June 28th and just before Vincenzo said June 28th. So I'm going to give it to Dylan. I'm not sure if everybody is going to agree with that. Let's see. Did everybody say Dylan? Lily says Dylan. Helene says Dylan, of course.
I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. So if I got it, you got it.
Yeah, creeping crud. Right. Here we go. This isn't a multiple choice question, so it's just very, very easy if you know it. And name the recording studio NBC used for some of the soundtrack recordings for the 68 NBC TV special. Alrighty. Let's see. Radio Recorders, Burbank, United Western Recorders. Okay. Burbank, number 4. Burbank. Yeah, you need to be a little bit more specific than Burbank. Somebody has actually already got it, believe it or not. United Western Recorders, says Ruth. Yeah, that's correct. But I think somebody came in before you, Ruth. And Chris says it was Norset again. And I think it probably was. Yes, Norset. Western Recorders or United Western Recorders. Well done, Norset. You get the
I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. So if I got it, you got it.
Yes. Norset for the creeping crud. Yes, is right. Question 6. Where did Elvis vacation prior to working on the special? He went away to get a tan and just to relax for a little while. Where did he go? Anula says, sorry, Steve, do not like the jingle. Okay, fair enough. It'll only be here for a week or two anyway. Wow. Look at all those Hawaiis. Yes, it was Hawaii. Yeah. And there's some great photographs of, it says Dylan again. There's some great photographs of him coming back from Hawaii on the plane, and he's signing autographs, and it looks like he's drinking a Bloody Mary as well. So Dylan, well done. It was Hawaii. And of course, one last time. Sorry, Anula.
I kissed somebody last night, and I caught the creeping crud. So if I got it, you know, you got it.
Is Anula the only one that doesn't like that jingle? Unfortunately. Okay. Right. That sees off the fan of the month quiz. Dylan says it's the little stutter that does it for me. Wally Marcel says I think I was first. Okay, let's just double check. Right. So I come down and I see Dylan's World saying what's this? David Lunt says you said where, not who. I don't know what. I don't know what David's on about there. I see Dylan's World saying Hawaii, Philip saying Palm Springs, Tracy Heenan saying Hawaii, Miles High, Carolina saying Palm Springs. Wally, I see you after Hugh McKenna and after Brian Roberts. So that's the answer. Hawaii and Dylan Bowen. Right. So what was I going to say? I was going to say the topic, yes, is did King Creole decide the path Elvis's movie career took? Bear with me on this, okay? The Paramount movie premiered at Lowe's State Theatre in New York. And yes, guess what? I do have it here. That was taken at the time it was in Lowe's. And as you can see, Elvis Presley, King Creole. So that was on July the 2nd, 1958. The Paramount movie premiered at Lowe's State Theatre in New York City on July 2nd, 1958, 2 years to the day after he recorded Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel in New York. It received a mild reception from critics, but Elvis's dramatic work surprised many of them. Excuse me. In his Chicago Daily News film review, Sam Lesser expressed disappointment in the melodrama but praised Elvis. Elvis, Lesser wrote, has a good deal more acting talent than the producers of this film care to utilize. The fast buck producers apparently haven't any interest in developing the real Elvis, who is astonishingly representative of his time. And then there's another article that says King Creole disappointed at the box office. In its first week, King Creole ranked number 5 in box office receipts on the Variety's national rankings. It soon became apparent though, that teenagers were not flocking to the film in the numbers they had to Elvis's previous 3 films. An August 3rd Variety article noted that the Chicago Theatre pulled King Creole after an initial week of immediately disappointing business. To replace it, the Balabam and Katz Theatre syndicate rushed Naked and the Dead into its Chicago flagship cinema several weeks ahead of schedule. By the time its run ended, King Creole had recorded $2.64 million in ticket sales. It made Paramount a modest profit, but that was a disappointment compared to Love Me Tender, Loving You, and Jailhouse Rock. Both Hal Wallace and Tom Parker learned the same lesson from Elvis's final pre-army movie. His fans didn't care about his acting. Of course, don't forget, this is in 1958. It was understood that there were to be more serious pictures in keeping with Elvis's continuing aspirations to become a good actor. Flaming Star and Wild in the Country were made under the Fox agreement. Parker knew from King Creole prior poor showing in the box office that it was unlikely films with Elvis in serious roles would play well with his base audience. But it is to the Colonel's credit that he gave his client the opportunity to make his acting dreams come true by negotiating the 2 dramatic films at 20th Century Fox. So, what do you think of that? Basically, what they're saying is that in 1958, King Creole, compared to today, I mean, today now it's revered and everybody classes it as his best film. Of course, we didn't know what was to come after 1958. People then didn't know what was to come. We know now what came after 1958. So, you know, compared, as I said in the article, compared to Love Me Tender, Loving You, and Jailhouse Rock, it fared very, very poorly at the box office. And as we all know, especially with film studios, it all matters what they take at the box office. Doesn't matter what anybody else says, it's the box office takings that makes the, you know, plans out how they're going to deal with the star from there on in. So let's have a look at the grosses just to, there's the beautiful Carolyn Jones as well that was with Elvis in King Creole. Let's have a look at the grosses. And the grosses were, for instance, Speedway 1968, 2 million. Girls, 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 2.6. King Creole, 2.6. Kissing Cousins, 3 million. Girl Happy, 3.25. Roustabout, 3.3. Jailhouse Rock, 4 million. That was the one prior to this one. As you can see, Blue Hawaii, 4.2. GI Blues, 4.3. That was when he came immediately out of the army. Love Me Tender, 4.5. Okay. Twice as much as King Creole. And Viva Las Vegas, as we know, his biggest grossing picture, as I told you a couple of weeks ago, I believe, on the quiz, 9.4 million. Okay, so we, what do we think about that? You know, we now look at King Creole as his best movie, without a doubt. We do. Hands down, when you ask most Elvis fans, you know, what was his best movie? King Creole. Ask Elvis, when Elvis was asked, he said King Creole as well. So was it King Creole that, you know, dictated where Elvis's movie career went after, when he came out of the army? Not Flaming Star, not Wild in the Country. There we have it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And you can call me on Discord, of course. And you can also speak to me. Let's see if I can move this again. You can also speak to me on WhatsApp and Instagram and Messenger, of course. Okay, I'll put that back there for now. First of all, though, I want to do the poll, because I'm interested to know what you think of this. And let me see the poll. Here we go. Right. How do you usually listen to Elvis's music? Do you listen to it on vinyl, tape, CD, or do you stream or listen to it on internet radio? So I'm going to start that poll now, and I'll be interested to see. Please vote away, because it interests me in 2024 how people are listening to Elvis's music. Is it still the good old vinyl? Because I know vinyl is making a little bit of a comeback, isn't it? Tape, cassette tape, or reel-to-reel. I know some people do have reel-to-reel tapes of Elvis, actually. CD, still very popular. Or do you stream it on platforms like Spotify and YouTube Music? Or do you listen to internet radio like the Sirius and all that, you know? So please, please, please vote on that, because, as I say, I am very, very interested. Personally, myself, at the moment, no, I won't tell you yet. I won't tell you yet. I'll tell you my vote near the end of the show. But without further ado, what I want to do is I want to go to one of the calls, and I see Dylan is on the line, so I'm going to say hello, Dylan. Oh, do you know why Dylan can't hear me? And this is my fault. Okay, sorry, Dylan, this is my fault. I'm going to do it now. Let's have a look. I am going to say, take 2 and say, hello, Dylan.
Hello.
Sorry, that was my fault. I hadn't put myself in the call.
No, it's alright. It's my fault as well because I didn't unmute myself. It's alright.
We're both at it, aren't we?
Yeah. It's that Brent's fault.
Yeah, he does the same thing to me every week. He keeps me waiting. We nearly had room for 2001: A Space Odyssey and CC Rider last week before he came on.
And amen.
Yes, and amen. Yeah. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Have you had chance to watch Change of Habit in Blu-ray yet?
I have.
And is it really good?
It's very good.
Great. Well, enjoy it, my friend.
The neighbours listening to Rubbernecking, whether they liked it or not.
He looks really good during that sequence, doesn't he, rubbernecking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, what do you want to say?
Well, first of all, about the poll.
Oh, yeah.
I have all of my Elvis music on vinyl.
Oh, good man. Do you?
Yeah. It's the only way to listen to Elvis.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is the digital formats like CD and so forth and streaming is nowhere. I mean, it's nowhere near as warm a sound as vinyl. Vinyl is a lovely warm sound.
Yeah. I mean, like, especially when his like rich tones.
Yeah.
Come in.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than that.
Really. So you've got a big Elvis vinyl collection, yes?
Yeah, I have. I've got Moody Blue. I've got The King of the Ring, the 68 one.
Oh, yeah.
I've got... What else have I got? God, that's the way it is. I've got loads.
Good. Okay, and what about the topic?
Now, see, as Brent will tell you, it does not take much to get me confused. But I was kind of confused.
Okay.
Because I'm like, why would King Creole set the path, right? But now, when you read like the reviews, it makes sense. Because here's why. They probably saw the reviews and said, all right, the public don't like it when Elvis doesn't sing much. Let's get him singing more.
Uh-huh.
And therefore, the movies that got him more singing got him more money.
Yeah, but I mean, he sang the quota in King Creole.
Well, yeah, true. But I guess also because of like the dramaticness of the film. If you don't want to see him being dramatic, you just want to see him sing.
I mean, I hate to call it a flop because it didn't really flop. I mean, 2.64 million is very, very good in 1958, but it didn't do anywhere near as good as his first 3 movies.
No, and that's surprising because King Creole is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and the songs are great too.
Of course, don't forget in 1958 they only had to hold that up against the first 3 movies. We are now comparing it with the likes of Hear 'em, Scare 'em, and Spin Out, and all those sort of things as well.
Yeah.
So hindsight is a great thing.
Yeah, hindsight is a great thing, especially when it's like 60 years on, like 50, 60 years on.
Mm-hmm.
Like we now know the movies that they were up against.
Yeah.
But at the time, Elvis didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
That he was going to do Speedway and Van Bake and Scare 'em.
Exactly. So you see, so we had King Creole doing only 2.64 million at the time. Then he had Flaming Star and quickly Wild in the Country. Kind of sealed his fate, I think, didn't it?
I think it did, to be fair.
But did King Creole start it all off? Probably, by the sounds of it.
No, now that you've read that, I think it did.
Mm.
And see, before I go, did you see that knot footage?
Yes, I did. The knot jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've had so little footage of it up till now, haven't we?
Yeah, well, but I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's convinced that every single Vegas engagement's got at least one reel of footage.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think we're going to get more.
Oh, yeah.
As time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, there was fans at nearly every show taking 8mm footage. It's just, it hasn't all come out yet.
No, and I think, you know, like, when, like, sadly, we're now getting to the time where those people aren't no longer with us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, are they going to get it out there before that thing happens?
Yeah, and if they don't, will their relatives even know what they've got?
Yeah.
That's just an old reel of film. Don't worry about that. I mean, there's in drawers and attics and things like that everywhere across the world. There must be 8mm footage we haven't seen of Elvis yet.
I know. It's like, like, it's just to think that like that one guy in like Holland or somewhere.
Yeah.
It's literally sitting on a literal gold mine with the opening night footage.
Yes.
Like he's got the whole thing.
Yeah.
But he's just sitting on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll have to be patient.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
Patience isn't my thing, but
no. When it comes to Elvis, no. All right, Dylan. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Right. Yeah. I must remember to put myself in the call before I speak to people. Here we go. I can see Vincenzo. How are you doing?
Hi, Steve. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Tell me, how do you usually listen to Elvis music?
CD, cassette tapes, and streaming.
Right. So no vinyl at all, no?
No.
Which would be the most out of those three you listen to his music on?
Cassette tape.
Cassette tape. All right. What in the car?
Huh?
In the car.
I have a radio.
All right. Okay. Right. So what do you want to say about this topic, King Creole? Did it sort of decide the path that Elvis's movie career took?
I think when the Colonel Tom Paco saw that the fans didn't like it, he started making Elvis do the beach movies.
Yeah. I mean, everybody thinks now, because it was his best film, in our opinion, that it was a success. But obviously, it wasn't at the time. 1958. It wasn't the great success that we thought it was.
I liked it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, it's a great movie. But in 1958, it wasn't the success.
Said it was his favorite movie.
Yeah, he did. He said it was his favorite movie as well. Yeah. But in 1958, it wasn't the success that we know it is and we think it is now.
Yeah.
Okay, Vincenzo. Thanks very much.
Talking to you, Steve.
Nice talking to you. Cheers. Bye-bye. Okay, that was Vincenzo. We move on. I see that we have Mark in the queue, so I'm going to say hi, Mark.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Hey, doing really, really well.
Good.
I'm interested to find out how you listen to your Elvis music. I know you sing it, but how do you listen to it?
Vinyl.
Oh, right. You got a lot of vinyl, have you?
Yeah, I've got every single Elvis album on vinyl.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got a massive collection, yeah. So vinyl for me, I've been collecting it for years on end, and I've recently just got an old a vintage player and a Valve amp, and I've got a cassette deck and a CD player.
Right.
CD's in my car, but if I'm at home, I love to put the vinyl on.
Yeah. It's very, very hard to beat the sound of vinyl, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Especially on a good system.
Yeah, if you've got a good system, and a good needle, and it plays well.
Yeah. All right, so what do you think about King Creole?
Right. I'm quite surprised about the reports. That's the first time I kind of heard that. So that's kind of new stuff that you brought to me.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't really agree, but I personally think GR Blues was the benchmark of the way it went. Mm-hmm. Because I'm obviously King Creole, because before you had like Love Me Tender, which wasn't an album release, it was only like an EP. You had Loving You, which was an album release, and then you had Jailhouse Rock, which was an EP release, and then you had King Creole, which was a fantastic, to me, the first big movie soundtrack.
Yeah,
and I think you can't fault any songs on the album. I think they're all great,
brilliant.
And I think then Elvis went into the army, and of course, and the first thing he does, doesn't he, kind of the Colonel? The first film out of the army is an army film.
Yeah.
And the fans haven't really seen that Elvis. He's come back in a, I love GR Blues. It's a great film. But the formula was there, I think, and everybody seemed to like that then. They kind of forgot what he did pre-army.
Yeah.
And I find that sad, because them 4 films were great. And if you go back from the first film to King Creole, I think Elvis acted better in every film. Up to King Creole,
Yeah. I mean, it is surprising that how little it did at the box office initially, and they actually had to pull it because it wasn't that successful. Of course, as I said to an earlier caller, we didn't have the hindsight we have now, where we're holding it up against Hear 'em, Scare 'em, and Spin Out, and all those other movies. But at the time, they were only comparing it to the other three.
Yeah, and really, the Colonel said he'd hold his little promise to Elvis. So he should have holded his promise to Elvis and gave him them two dramatic ones straight after the army, I think.
Yeah.
Because he may have changed his career. He gave him G.I. Blues and Blue Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, you see, the temptation was there to show him coming out of the army, because Blue Hawaii shows him coming out of the army, doesn't it? Yeah, obviously, G.I. Blues is the army. Also, Kid Galahad as well. He was just come out of the movie, hadn't he? Yeah. Out of the army.
Yeah. It was on that same kind of pattern, wasn't it? The fourth, and of course, the films were packed with songs. Yeah. A soundtrack album, which done well. But do you know how well King Creole did as a soundtrack album?
No, do you know that? I don't have that information. No.
Yeah. That's what a cracking album,
Yeah.
Cracking cover, cracking album.
Yeah.
And I would have thought it had done a lot better than Loving You did.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is it did very, very well as a soundtrack album, but I don't have the specifics with me at the moment.
Yeah, and of course, then he did make them two great films like Flaming Star and Wild in the Country, which again showed off his acting ability fantastically.
Yeah.
But of course, because you had them two films before that, which were musical films. And he's singing in them all the time. That's the way I think the teeny boppy girls, the diehard fans at the time, were craving.
Yeah. I think it. I think it confused moviegoers as well. They just seen him in G.I. Blues, and then we see him in Flaming Star, and they think this is a big change. Where's this going?
Yeah, and it paid off for the Colonel, didn't it? I suppose you saw that it paid off. It paid off right up to, I'd say, Viva Las Vegas, which was his most grossing film. But then after that, it started to wave. It waved, didn't it? And the bubble had burst. Then I think. And a shame, and we got right at the end of his movie career, which again, great films, with Charo and Change of Habit.
Yeah, they did start to make a comeback again, didn't they? I think, quality wise.
I think personally, he just got bored of them. Prior, probably 66 and 66 to 68, and then he had to get a little change. They offered him these films, and I think by then he knew it was towards the end. But it's a shame, it's a shame. But
alrighty.
I personally think G.I. Blues for me was the one, but not.
Yeah, and I always thought it was sort of like Blue Hawaii that maybe set the trend, but I think now maybe after all this, it's King Creole. Who knows? Who knows? Alrighty. Okay, cheers. Bye. Okay, so that was Mark. Yes, we will speak to my next caller, and see if I can get him on the line. I see it's Brent. Hi, Brent. How are you doing?
Steve, how you doing?
Hey, straight in there this week.
Look at that. I'm telling you, man, lightning quick now. No more delays. First of all, great episode. I love it how you never know which episode is coming your way when you're doing what you do. So there's always like a new thought process we have to jump on.
Yeah.
And I love it because it gets our gears grinding. And I'm thinking that... well, for the music question that you've been asking everybody, I'm an MP3 person. A lot of it is because when I do my show and I have to arrange, I have my iTunes, like 7,000 Elvis tracks, and I could just kind of drag them into playlists to create my episodes. Yeah. So it just kind of works that way. But you know what? I heard about vinyl, that a lot of the vinyl that they're issuing today actually comes from a digital source, though.
Oh, right.
So so basically what this engineer told me, that you're hearing it on a disc, but you're still hearing like the CD version just on a disc, on a record. Right. So I can't 100% substantiate that claim, but it really did kind of get me thinking a little bit.
Kind of makes sense,
I would love to build a vinyl collection of Elvis. His voice just deserves the best audio treatment possible.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so what do you think then about what I was saying about King Creole putting the path of the movie career?
Well, first of all, very poignant take that you had, as well as what Mark said as well, even Dylan. First of all, I think what happens is when you have kind of an innocent time period, there's an old saying, happy songs sell records, sad songs sell beer. And when a time is innocent, and people have kind of proven this before, when you have the late 50s, which at least in America, the economy was robust and everything, people were seeking more innocent kind of fare. So here you have this really kind of dark, almost noirish kind of film come out, and they weren't willing to digest it. But the ironic aspect of it is that when America started steeping into cynicism, Elvis's movies started getting more innocent.
Yeah.
It was just this total paradox here, and it felt like Elvis couldn't get on the right train. But I do think, this is what I think. I think that I'm wondering if when Elvis got in the army, there was all that fear that no matter how much maneuvering the colonel was doing, that was Elvis going to be successful when he comes back? And I'm wondering if they thought, let's never take a gamble again.
Yeah.
You'll get those 2 movies. You'll be able to do that. But after that, we have to kind of give caution to the wind and say they might not accept you after a departure again. Not that he was going into the army again, but if he were to do an artistic departure, that would turn people off. And so maybe it just made them that much more hesitant to kind of engage in artistic risk.
I wonder why they did Flaming Star and Wild in the Country after the sort of, I'm not going to call it a flop, but after the poor performance of King Creole.
Yeah, and I think it's like weird because King Creole, a lot of people think it's like, I remember that they said that about Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. Oh, it was a flop. It was a departure. And I'm like, no, it was a relative disappointment, relative compared to their normal performing. So as a standalone film, King Creole did great, but as an Elvis film, only in comparison, it didn't do as well to his previous films.
Correct.
But as a film itself, it did respectable, just not up to snuff what they were expecting. And that is the perplexing question, because you can understand with King Creole, they would just go right to the beach after that, GI Blues and all that other kind of escapist kind of travelogue fare.
Yeah.
Why they allowed those, especially 2 pictures in a row like that.
Yeah.
That is the perplexing question. I've never really heard like quite a straight answer on that through all my research, but I'm thinking maybe they were sensing the 60s was going to kind of go in a more serious direction, and they thought they would take their stab at it, but they just weren't ready for it, where I actually really feel that those 2 films would have really done better if they came out in like 65 and 66.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, when did 20th Century Fox and Parker, make this promise to Elvis that he would do Flaming Star and Wild in the Country? Maybe they did it early on, Yeah,
and this could have been a promise kind of made. And yes, they did great with GI Blues, but that was because the Elvis is back kind of fervor was there.
Yeah.
I don't think they had that established formulaic approach yet.
Yeah.
They were still seeking for the magic formula. So even though GI Blues gave a glimpse of it, it didn't kind of cast the die in that way.
Blue Hawaii definitely cast the die, didn't it?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, Steve.
There was no going back after Blue Hawaii.
No, it would just make fiscal irresponsibility to do something opposite of that.
Okay, Brent, as always, a great call. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you again.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Brent, of course. And we move on, and I see that we have Cam. How are you doing, Cam?
I'm well, and you, Steve?
Yes. Always good to speak to you. Will I ask you first about the poll?
Yes.
How do you usually listen to your Elvis music?
I prefer the analog sound, but I don't have a very large Elvis collection on vinyl. Most of it is loaded onto my computer, so it's in digital format. But my opinion is analog is always better, but I think digital is a lot easier nowadays.
It was interesting what Brent said, and I'd actually, now he said it, I do recall hearing it before, that some of the modern albums now and the modern pressings that you're hearing is just, it's digital on vinyl. It's not actual the vinyl pressing anymore. So
yes, it would be good if they went back to the original analog recording and repressed those onto vinyl.
Yeah,
I think we would get more of a diverse sound spectrum
Yeah.
than what you do with digital. But as I say, my personal preference would obviously be analog all the way. But unfortunately, I think with the price of vinyl now as well, it's not as accessible as it was when it originally came out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Takes up so much room as well, doesn't it?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, when vinyl did phase out, I think a lot of people unfortunately got rid of their vinyl setups,
Mm-hmm.
and it it tends to be a little bit more costly now to go back to the vinyl, because obviously it doesn't pay to spend the money on a vinyl if you haven't got a decent turntable and a
Yeah.
decent needle to play
Yeah.
it on.
Exactly. Right. So, King Creole, what do you think of the points I made?
I think I tend to agree with a lot of what Brent said. My personal opinion is yes. King Creole for me was a better movie. It kind of gave us a glimpse into his capabilities as a more serious actor. And I think you guys touched on the fact that unfortunately it is all about the box office.
Yes, exactly.
And
If it didn't make the money, then they're not going to follow it up.
yes, and I think that in itself is a bit of a shame, because, as you guys already correctly stated, that Elvis got into a rut, and I think it must have been excruciatingly, nauseatingly frustrating
Mm-hmm.
for him to do the same kind of movies over and over and over again. And I mean, we have heard that he often expressed his dislike because a lot of the movies that he did, he said himself, it's basically the same storyline, it's just a different character.
A different character. Yeah. Well, I mean, he did say that they were making him physically ill at the end as well.
Yes, I often go back to think, what would it have been? What would we have gotten if he was allowed to take A Star Is Born when he was offered it?
Mm.
Because I think at that point in his career, he'd gone through all the ridiculous movies, and he was kind of aching for a serious role. And I think it would have been very interesting to have seen him in that kind of role, to actually see what his acting capability really would have been, having gained all the experience through doing all the ridiculous movies, if you can put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm just looking there, and coming up actually in the This Day in Elvis History is a comment about the movies that Elvis made when he spoke in, I think it was 1970, I believe. There's just an excerpt from something when he was talking about the movies. So that'll be coming up. So we've got a comment about the movies and King Creole from Elvis coming up. So stay tuned for that. Okay, Cam, thanks very much.
Brilliant.
Alrighty.
Always great talking to you.
Yeah, thanks for your call.
Pleasure.
Bye. Okay, that was Cam. Right, yeah, I forgot about that, actually. There is This Day in Elvis History coming up now. And as I say, there is a comment about King Creole and the film career from Elvis himself. So I'll just take myself out of the calls, because that's the end of the calls for this week, by the looks of it anyway. Unless anybody wants to call in on WhatsApp or Instagram or Messenger, you can do that. Let's have a look. I can move that back across. Keep it tidy. Don't forget, there's still a chance and still time to vote on the poll. And the poll is, how do you usually listen to Elvis music? Vinyl, tape, CD, stream, internet radio. And I'll be interested to see the results of that. And I will give you the result near the end of the show. Now, we have This Day in Elvis History. And in 1955, this is only rumoured, but I'm pretty sure it probably went ahead. Elvis appeared at the Texarkana Municipal Auditorium. And there is the photograph of Texarkana Municipal Auditorium. But for some reason, I can't get 100% confirmation that did take place on this day in 1955. 1956, I Forgot to Remember to Forget went to number 1 on the Billboard Country and Western chart, Elvis's first national single to chart. The song reached the Billboard National Country Music Chart number 1 position on February the 25th, 1956, on the Billboard Country and Western Bestsellers in Stores chart, and remained there at number 1 for 2 weeks. So there we have it. It spent 5 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Country and Western Played Most in Jukeboxes chart, and the record reached number 4 on the Billboard Most Played on Jockeys chart. It was the first recording to make Elvis a nationally known star. The song remained on the country and western charts for 39 weeks. The flip side of this release, Mystery Train, peaked at number 11 position on the national Billboard country chart. Mystery Train is a song written and recorded by American blues musician Junior Parker in 1953, also on the Sun label. And Elvis performed at the Louisiana Hayride Municipal Auditorium, Shreveport. Elvis sang for the first time at the Hayride Heartbreak Hotel. According to Scotty, the audience exploded like never before. And we all know what happened after that. 1957, at Paramount, working on Loving You. Any excuse to send or to show a Loving You picture. It was announced that Elvis would receive $250,000 and 50% of the net profits for his third movie, MGM's Jailhouse Rock. And then we have King Creole production. Great photograph there from King Creole. That was this day in 1958. 1961. Yes, here we are. The charity show at the Ellis Auditorium, Memphis at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. His first concert appearance since 1958. At a 1:45 p.m. press conference, Sam Phillips asked why Sun Records gets so little recognition for Elvis. For Elvis' success, reminding everyone that RCA wouldn't have him if it wasn't for Phillips. Good man, Sam. At a special luncheon at the Hotel Claridge, Elvis was presented by RCA with a diamond watch and a plaque marking his achievement of selling over 75 million records. Tennessee Governor Burford Ellington and Memphis Mayor Harry Leob both declared this day Elvis Presley Day. Comedian George Jessel hit the stage. I've got a photograph of this as well. Hit the stage in an exaggerated tribute to the king of rock and roll. He introduced Elvis in the evening as one of the greatest singer-actors of this century. After the evening show, Elvis held a party at Graceland. Alrighty. So let's have a look. Great photographs there. And I see it says the King's Men behind him. There he is. That's comedian George Jessel pretending to bow down to Elvis. Elvis looked a bit uncomfortable there, actually, and who can blame him? Right. We've got 1963, Fun in Acapulco. We've got 1964, A Roustabout. 1965, Elvis had a recording session in Studio B, Nashville, from 10:15 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. for Hear 'em, Scare 'em. And there he is arriving at Studio B. There's the bus behind him, and he's signing autographs. What did he record that night? He recorded So Close Yet So Far from Paradise, My Desert Serenade, Wisdom of the Ages, Kismet, and Hey Little Girl. 1966, he was working on Spin Out. There's a screen grab from Spin Out. Love that. Love that sequence. 1967, Elvis's Indescribably Blue hit 33 in the US. Elvis flew back from Nashville after working in Studio B on soundtrack recordings for Clambake to Memphis in the early evening. He had the plane circle over his ranch before landing. Isn't that great? It really is great to think you could just do that. Just, hey, I'm Elvis. I'm going to have the jet just circle over my ranch. 1968 already. We've got Hillcrest. Elvis flew to Los Angeles to his new home, 1174 Hillcrest. This smaller 4-bedroom house offered Elvis, Priscilla and Lisa Marie more privacy than before. Only Charlie Hodge, Patsy and Gigi Gamble were living there at the time with them. So there's a lovely photograph there of Hillcrest. 1969, RCA released the single Memories, a Mac Davis song that had its debut 3 months earlier during Elvis's comeback special on NBC TV. On December the 1st, 1970, the single was re-released as part of RCA Victor's Gold Standard series, together with 9 other singles. Nancy Sinatra recorded a cover version in 1969 for her album Nancy on Reprise Records. 1970. Yes, what have we got for 1970? Let's have a look. Oh, yes. Elvis and his the Memphis Mafia and Vernon Presley flew to Houston for Elvis's engagement at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo in Kirk Kerkorian's private jet. Though the Colonel had tried to force the guys to travel on their own, they all went along with Elvis except for the wives this time. Elvis held a brief press conference at the airport before checking into the Astro World Hotel. Elvis was asked why he was performing in Houston, to which he replied, "I sort of started out in Texas, in and around Houston, and that he had played nearly everywhere in the area." Elvis also said, "I wanted to go back to live performances to get the inspiration of live audiences, but I'll tell you, that dome has got me scared." Now, this is the part I was saying about Elvis referencing his movie career. Elvis said he still plans on making more movies, but a little better than the ones before. He went on to say, "I can't watch my movies on television because I'm too critical. I think King Creole was the best of my movies." There you go. And 1971, Elvis with Dottie West at the Landmark Hotel. Look at the look on Elvis's face. I'm not saying anything. I'm not. I'm just saying that is him with Dottie West at the Landmark Hotel. Right. So, as I say, we still have. You still have time to vote on the poll. How do you usually listen to Elvis's music? Vinyl, tape, sort of cassette tapes, or reel-to-reel, CD, or do you stream or use internet radio? Right. So, what have we got next? We've got Photoshop, I believe. Although I will say one thing before we go any further. I'm still looking for you, and people do send these in, and I am working my way through the ones I want to use. Underrated songs, Photoshop, smoking hot photos. Shh, be quiet, please. Not yet. Songs you wished Elvis had sung live, funny caption photos, or you can suggest a topic for discussion. And bottom right, you will see that I'm still asking people, if they haven't yet, if they can subscribe and click the bell. It's quite important you click the bell, because subscribing is one thing, but if you don't click the notification bell and select all, you won't know when I go live or when I post videos. So, and obviously turn your notifications on. So that's, and don't forget, we do a Discord server where we do post your favorite Elvis photo of the day. And then the one with the most hearts is the winner. And then we have a monthly winner as well. As you can see, some great photographs posted. And there's also Elvis chat as well. And I've introduced a new thread as well, which is off topic, which is for anybody that wants to talk to other members, but not about Elvis, just, somebody you've met through the Elvis community. You can go on the off topic thread and do that. So, now Photoshop. Yes, this one. Well, that's Elvis's head from, it looks like Change of Habit, but unfortunately they've stuck it on a spin-out publicity photo, studio photo. So that's this week's, not very good Photoshop at all. So, and if you find Photoshops that I haven't shown yet, then please do send in the Photoshop and send in the original as well, and I can feature it on another show. So that's this week's Photoshop. I'll take that off. Yeah. What do I want to do? I want to leave that there because I need to come back to that little sheet of paper in a minute. A song I wish Elvis had recorded, suggested by Helene. Hello, Helene. Very, very pleased that you've sent this in. And it is Baby, I'm a Fool, is a song written and composed by American jazz singer-songwriter Melody Gardot. And there she is. It was released as a second single from her full-length album, My One and Only Thrill. According to Gardot, the lyrics are about two coquette people who won't admit they are in love with each other. The music video of Baby I'm a Fool was directed by Aaron Platt, produced by Justin Cronkite, and filmed entirely in black and white. The video displays Gardot resting in a clawfoot bathtub, flanked by dancers dressed in tuxedos who perform an elaborate choreographic sequence to the rhythm of the song. Helene told me, "Okay, now bear with me. I'd like to propose a song I think would have beautifully suited Elvis in another world given the dates. Released in 2009, this song could have been penned by the likes of Doc Pomus or Mort Schumann. To me, it has the same jazz vibes as I Need Somebody to Lean On, which is an underrated gem." We might come back to that one day. "It takes a bit of imagination, but I do believe the 1960s Elvis could have done wonders with this, or even better, Elvis at Stax in December 1973. I hope you like the idea too," says Helene. Well, I will leave a link to Melody Gardot's Baby I'm a Fool, and if you want to click on it after the show and listen and let me know your comments below this video. Could Elvis have recorded that? What would it have been like? What would it have turned out like? What do you think the comments that Helene has made about how it's got a jazz vibe like I Need Somebody to Lean On, and the 1960s Elvis could have done it, or the Stax Elvis? Yeah. That's this week's I Wish Elvis Had Recorded. Now, we will do caption this photo in a minute, but I want to do I Wish Elvis Had Sung Live. And this is sent in by Joan Gansky, and it's The Last Farewell, which is there. A song by British folk singer Roger Whittaker, music and vocals on original recording, and Ron A. Webber, poem and lyrics. Whittaker hosted a radio program in the United Kingdom, backed by an orchestra with arrangements Zach Lawrence. Roger said, "One of the ideas I had was to invite listeners to send their poems or lyrics to me, and I would make songs out of them. We got 1 million replies. I did one each week. Ron A. Webber, a silversmith from Birmingham, England, sent Roger Whittaker his poem entitled The Last Farewell, and this song became one of the selections to appear on the radio program. It was recorded and featured on Whittaker's 1971 album New World in the Morning, A Special Kind of Man in the US and Canada. It is one of the 50 all-time singles to have sold 10 million or more physical copies. Wow. According to Whittaker, the wife of a program director for a radio station in Atlanta, Georgia, was traveling to Canada in 1975 and heard Whittaker's 4-year-old recording on the radio. After she returned to the US, she asked her husband to play it on the station. After he played the song a few times, listeners called the station to discover more about the song and singer, and soon thereafter, The Last Farewell was on the charts. The single reached the top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 19 in June 1975. That's probably when Elvis heard it. The only single of Whittaker's career to appear on the Hot 100. It also went to number 1 on the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart. The song first hit the Canadian charts in November 1974 and peaked at number 64 in December. It then re-entered the charts in April 1975. On Tuesday, February the 3rd, 1976, Elvis recorded the song during what became known as the Jungle Room sessions at his Graceland home, and it was included on the album from, here we are, Elvis Presley Boulevard. There you are. This version was released as a posthumous single in the UK in 1984, peaking at number 48 in December. So that's, and what do you think? Do you think do you wish that Elvis had sung that song live? In 76 or 77? Let me know what you think. That's I wish it sung a song live. Now, underrated song. And the underrated song is again by Joan. Joan is it's a double entry from Joan Gansky this week. And it is The Fair is Moving On. Yes, underrated. Words and music by Guy Fletcher and Doug Flett, released on the album Back in Memphis. It also became the B-side of Clean Up Your Own Backyard from the movie The Trouble with Girls, recorded on Friday, February the 21st at American Sound Studios in Memphis between 7:30 and 10:30 p.m. in only one take. Yep, that's right, only one take of The Fair is Moving On exists. The following night, Elvis did a vocal repair overdub to that take, and strings and backing vocals were added at RCA Studios A, Nashville on March 25th. A reviewer says The Fair is Moving On would provide the album Back in Memphis with some of its most hauntingly imagery, and with its portraits of packing and vanishing carnival and a love affair. Bobby Wood's piano playing is particularly impressive, as is Moman's kaleidoscopic production that surrounds Elvis's soulful vocal. Maybe not a great song, but still a good performance. What do you think? Is it underrated? Do you like The Fair's Moving On? I will leave a link below, and you can leave your comments below as well. Thanks, Joan, for sending those two in. She sent in an underrated song and a wish Elvis had sung live. Now we are going to do Caption This Photo, and we have a lot of fun with this one, and it's this one. This was the one where he was going, Ed Sullivan put me on TV and I was going like this, and I asked you, of course, on the community tab on YouTube to send in the captions for this photo, and then the one that got the most thumbs up is the winner. And here's some that didn't quite make it but were good ones. What possessed me to see the Priscilla movie? I'm short several brain cells now. A little bitty guitar and a little shaky leg. Oops, I just split my pants. Nobody has asked me to autograph that before, honey. Oh man, I think I've just got stage fright again. But with a very impressive 26 likes, a little bit of a drum roll, 4, Invisible Generation. And they say, oh heck, who got Mike Stone a front row seat? So that's the winner with 26 likes. Very, very good. And of course, we have to, as always, give a little bit of a round of applause. As always, I will be doing another sort of caption this photo on the community tab. I normally post it on a Tuesday morning / afternoon, so look out for that. I'll leave the poll for just a little bit longer because I do want to see what the outcome is. How do you usually listen to Elvis music? If you haven't voted on it, please do now. Vinyl, tape, CD, or do you stream or use internet radio? Now, as always, I'm going to do the smoking hot photo. Stand by, girls. This one, actually, I stole this one from the Elvis photo of the day off the Discord server that we have during the week, and it was posted by Tracy, and it was this one. Look at that. I think it might even have been a winner or a close winner or a joint winner. We had a lot of ties this week for Elvis picture of the day. So, and the EP shades as well, just completely just set it off. Really do set it off. So that is the smoking hot picture. They were a little bit late there coming in tonight. They were going off every time I said smoking hot picture, and then when I showed it, they didn't they didn't start screaming. So yeah, look at those lips, says Priscilla. One hunk of love, says Dolores. Steve, you thief. I just couldn't resist. I couldn't resist, and I might do it again. So please get your photographs into Elvis Photo of the Day on the Discord channel. And if it's like that, or as good as that, or better than that, it'd be hard to get better than that though, wouldn't it? I might steal it for smoking hot. Now, that just leaves me to do the poll, I believe, because I think I've covered everything else. If you do like what I'm doing, you can, of course, give this a thumbs up, because we're trying to target 300 likes. Every thumbs up is a thumbs up for Elvis. So if you're watching this on playback or live, if you give it a thumbs up, the more thumbs up, the better. Also, you can buy me coffee by using the link below, or you can do that what they call that there, the QR code. You can scan that QR code, and that will take you directly to Buy Me a Coffee. And also, if you don't use Buy Me a Coffee, but you use PayPal, you can buy me coffee through the PayPal as well. Right, we are going to do what are we going to do? We're going to do the poll. I cannot wait any longer. Right, here we go. End poll. I see here vinyl is 8%, tape is 1%, CD 45%, but streaming takes it. Oh, hang on, it's changed. Oh, just as I went to put it up, it changed. I've got stream 46%, CD 45%, vinyl 7%, and tape 0. There was somebody there that had voted tape, so they must have. Yeah, so streaming 46%, CD 45%, vinyl 7%, and no tape whatsoever. So it was very, very, very close between streaming internet and CD. I stream a lot of my Elvis music now, because I've got smart speakers in the home, and I've got my car streams the internet as well. So I stream, but there is CDs as well. I have a lot of vinyl, but I haven't played in it a long time, unfortunately. But I must get it out again and get the turntable going as well. It just leaves me to say thank you very, very much to all the callers. Thanks to Chris for moderating. Thanks to everybody that follows this channel and subscribes and supports it, because without you, this would be nothing. Because it's your channel. And for everybody that buys me coffee as well, thank you very much. Take it away, Al.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.